Welcome to Bike Shows UK, which this week comes to you from the picturesque Oulton Park race circuit in leafy Cheshire. But we're not here to concentrate on the racing. Instead, we're going to show you what goes on behind the scenes at a race meeting. We'll follow a top photographer, show you what happens in the pits by following the tyre technicians and the mechanics, and much, much more. But where better to start than to talk to the man who makes it all happen.
My name's Philip Bannerman. I'm the circuit manager responsible for the entire venue. Everything from organising the various contractors to liaising with the club through to sorting out all the spectator requirements, the trade sites. So it's a considerable length of work. We're going to be expecting a lot of people today, so being here an early start, it'll be a late finish, but we want to get the racing over and we want to get everyone to enjoy themselves.
And there's a lot of racing to get through with the R6 Cup, 125s, but what everyone's come to see are the superbikes, and the rider has to be as good as the bike.
Hi, I'm Jason McLean. I'm the Press Relations Officer for Rizla Suzuki, and at the moment we're just going to the medical centre to see Yukio Kageyama as he goes through some physiotherapy as he recovers from his injuries at Cadwell Park last year. Hi Yuki.
Hi.
As you can see from behind me, Yuki is getting a very good massage at the moment. That helps to relax his muscles, helps to keep him supple and fit and flexible when riding the bike. The medics are amazed at how quickly he's actually recovering and coming back to fitness. This is an essential part of that. It's as essential to Yuki as his motorcycle. But if you look at him there, although it's daunting, I think he's quite enjoying it at the minute.
This is my energy, this massage.
And it did seem to do him good. He was second on the grid for the first superbike race. But you can't race until your bike has been through the scrutineering process.
Right, hello there, my name's Tina. I'm technical coordinator to make sure we've got all the scrutineering guides in place for race day. So I'm just walking down there now. Across the country we've got around 50 scrutineers, so it's my responsibility to make sure we've got enough scrutineers at each event and basically just make sure that the meeting goes really steadily as the meeting goes on and that we've got people where they need to be, when they need to be there. Everything's set up for the day now. We've got the scales out there. Basically when the bikes come in from a race, they'll actually be weighed to make sure that they're within the guidelines for weighing. Any homologation checks that are carried out will actually be done in here, and there's the guys with the calipers and everything else all ready to get that sorted out. Got the ladies in the paddock office that are actually got all the paperwork, the computer set up, so we can do any reporting we need to up to the race control centre.
And who better to explain it than the woman in charge of the paperwork for every bike in every race?
Each rider has his own record card which follows him right through the series. And on the record card, all the details, such as when the bike has been scrutineered by one of the technical officials. Clothing and helmet of the rider are also checked and recorded.
Now we check the helmet to see that it's securely fastened and there's no damages on. And then he also has an ACU sticker on, which he must have on for racing. Check the boots for medical, and the other one. Right. No holes in his leathers. Check his gloves. Do you have a dog tag, please?
What we've also got is a dyno for testing the super stocks, and we've also got the fuel wagon there, so I'm just going to go and see if Ian's okay. Hi there.
Hi.
Are we all set for today?
I think so, yeah.
What you got planned? Which ones are you doing?
Superbikes first, a couple of hours.
So we'll come back when he's actually got those on the go and you can see how that works. Right, okay, so what we've got over here is Martin actually does some dyno checks for us, so it gives us an idea of what power ratios, power curves the bikes have got, so we know where we're looking when we check some of the bikes. You all right, Martin? Very well, thank you. Go on then, get on with it. What we got, how we looking?
Spot on, yes, exactly same as the stock bike.
Yeah?
No problems there.
Smashing job.
Now for something completely different as we catch up with one of the best known names in bike photography.
Hi, my name's Sue from Double Red, and basically while the guys are out there taking pictures, both Mark and myself are in here, we're downloading the images and getting them ready to send out to websites, etc. Basically on race day what happens is the guys, Gareth and James, bring all their cards to us. We download them through a card reader, and then we have to process all the images, make sure that they're sharp, get them ready for sending out to the newspapers and also for the websites. If it's nice and sunny, the images are nicer, they're better, they're easier for us to deal with as well, because when it's dark and overcast, we're trying to see if they're sharp or not, and you've got the darkness as well, so it doesn't make life easy at all.
Yeah, one of the problems we've got at the moment is that all the top riders are circulating in a fairly close together group, and that means that obviously when you're shooting a race it's great, but when you're shooting practice and you're looking for shots of individual riders and individual bikes, and they're all coming around together. Here they come now. If somebody gets a spectacular shot, then of course everyone wants it, but you can't be in more than one place at once, and tend to try to have three photographers on race day, 2 photographers on practice days, just trying to cover as much of the circuit as we possibly can. So many different shots that you can get here, it's great. There's sort of here in Oulton Park, they're probably the two, well certainly my 2 favourite circuits.
Oulton Park is a beautiful circuit, but if you're in the media centre working, you spend most of your time watching the screens.
Hi there, my name's Adam, I work for Crash.net. This is one of my colleagues, Andy. Work for a website, an international motorsport website. We pride ourselves on being able to get news fast to the public. Race reports usually go on about 20 minutes after the race happens. Any news goes on immediately. We have all the race times and inside the teams, all the press releases and everything, so the general public can view all that too. I work solely on British Superbikes, and I'm at every single meeting, all weekend from practice to the race day. After the race, quick brief outline on what happened. We'll do the race times to see where everybody finished. Then we'll go and interview some riders and stuff, and then do a full report after that with a lot more information. Right, we've just done a short piece on the internet site about what happened in the race. The times are done on there as well. The race finished about 5 minutes ago, so the riders are still on the podium. We're just going down to see Scott Smart and Glenn Richards of Hall Kawasaki to see if we can get an interview from them.
Adam's not been in the job long, and interviewing top racers who may have had an indifferent race can be nerve-wracking. Let's see how he gets on.
So we're here with Glenn Richards of Hall Kawasaki. Had a brilliant race, comes 6th. Best result this season so far?
Yeah, it was a really good race actually. I had a good dice with 4 or 5 other guys. You know, it was just a shame at the end. I just missed a gear on the last lap. Just got past Leon Haslam around the outside in the last corner, and my bike didn't go into gear properly, and he hit my back wheel. It was a good result. I mean, it's good to get 6, and you know, we can only move on from here.
Right, we're here with John Reynolds of Vista Suzuki. You led for most of that race. Did you feel a lot of pressure from Kageyama because he was right behind you?
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure who it was behind me, but yeah, of course, I mean, there's pressure all the time when you've got every lap it says +0 on your board, which means that somebody's right behind you. And all I'm doing is going as hard as I can.
All through that race, you looked like you were trying very hard, and at the end you got him.
Yeah, I'm very happy. British Superbike is a very high-level riders. John, Michael, and the riders much good riders. Then I get to win. I'm much happy. And this week is just my team staff, chief mechanic, and everything good working.
Parc Fermé isn't exactly the most exciting part of a race circuit, but it's a very important part, and that's where we went next.
Hi, I'm Julie Hewlett, and today I'm working in the Parc Fermé. And today, well, we have the bikes in every session for 30 minutes, just in case we have any protests, any problems with the bike, and then during that time, if they send protests in, we have to deal with them, but we don't very often have one of those, thank goodness. As you can see, we've got some crash bikes coming in at the moment, and they have to stay in the park for me during qualifying. We keep them in here also on race days in case there's problems. If somebody went back to their trailer, they could take the bike and take some parts off or do some fiddling with it, which we don't have any of normally. And yeah, Audrey comes down from the office and we check sheets to make sure that I've got all the bikes in here that should be in here, always for qualifying. On a race day I do it myself. I go and get a sheet from the office and I check to make sure everything's up and running. And I have to watch the flag. When the flag drops, that's when the time starts for the park for me. So I'm always watching for the flags, the last lap flag, you know, and then I take the 30 minutes from then. Yes, we have to clear the park for me after about 5 minutes to make sure nobody's touching anybody else's bike, and so I have to look after everybody's bike the same. Well, my husband's a scrutineer, so I come with him, you see, so we spend the weekend together with bikes.
There'll be more from Oulton Park after the break when we catch up with the scrutineers and the tyre technicians. But for now, we'll leave the spectators to enjoy their day out. Welcome back to Bike Shows UK. We're at Oulton Park in Cheshire, seeing what goes on behind the scenes at a British Superbike meeting. The medics are chilling out in the sunshine, and this meeting sees a special guest appearance from the North West Air Ambulance helicopter, based at Oulton for a week.
My name's Paul West, Operations Manager, North West Air Ambulance. Been operational on this for about 5 years now, coming up to the birthday. I'm in charge really of 11 other paramedics that work on the helicopter who are seconded from the North West, who actively take a role whilst being a paramedic on the air ambulance. We was asked if we can come down to Oulton Park. It was very timely. We're starting an initiative in Merseyside. We're bringing a helicopter to the people of not only Cumbria and Lancashire, but this next particular week we're going down in Merseyside. We can be on scene at any serious road traffic within 15-20 minutes maximum, and then back to hospital within 10 minutes. So like I say, it's quite timely. There is an added bonus in the fact that we do get to watch the races as well. Being a biker, born again biker myself, I bought my first bike, my Honda VF4, last year in July. I was out yesterday for a number of hours because the weather was gorgeous. Went up to the Lake District and back. So unfortunately I didn't make it here yesterday, but today gladly we can see the races also.
And there's no better view of the racing than the one from the helicopter. So we caught up with the pilot and asked him what he thought of it all.
Good afternoon, my name's Jesse Constable. I'm one of the pilots of the North West Air Ambulance, which is based up at Blackpool. We're down here today at Oulton Park races to raise awareness of the aircraft and the job that we do, because it's by raising awareness we hope to raise the funding level because the whole operation is funded by charity. Our normal crew is one pilot and two paramedics. The paramedics are both experienced guys who've got at least 1 year's experience on the road before they join the aircraft. They then undergo special training to help with navigation and how to operate in the air, and particularly how to use all the equipment in the aircraft, because all of the signs that they normally pick up of healthiness or lack of healthiness in the patient, a lot of them are obscured by the aircraft noise, so they need to learn to use their instruments in a different way. We see all the crowds of cars and the people here, and as we came in we saw all the pace cars out on the track and things, and you get a wonderful aerial view of everything from the aircraft. And yeah, it's set in beautiful surroundings near the Delamere Forest and up into the hills. It's fantastic. I'm sure for them it's very intense on the ground. The guys who fly these kind of operations are usually fairly experienced, so we try and take it in our stride. But yeah, it's a fantastic way to earn a living. It's great.
But you know, some people go to a race meeting every weekend and see no racing, and among them are the tyre technicians.
Right, my name's Dave, I work for Pirelli, Metzler, whichever one you want to be called it. I actually fit the tyres, I strip them down, get the new ones put on and send them off to balancing. And that's about it really. Do a bit of tyre picking, going and finding them for the riders and whatnot. If it ain't the right condition and it ain't the right tyre, then there's not much use really going out. So yeah, it's just fairly important for them to get the right tyre and the right compound. If the weather changes suddenly, then the riders obviously just want to come back, change the tyres, put wets on, put the dries on, put whatever it is at the time that they need. I'm going to say it gets really busy though, because as soon as the weather starts to change, then the whole lot comes back. It's not just a couple of 5 teams, then the whole lot will come in, everyone wants some changing, and this morning it was absolutely terrible.
What we're looking here for is to make sure that the wheel's right and the wheel's not bent. And then what we do, we move on to letting the tyre balance itself, which then means that the heaviest point of the tyre is on the bottom. We put a little chalk mark there, take it to the 15% of the tyre there, and then we let the tyre roll back, and then that determines how much weight that we can put on the tyre. Now this isn't too bad actually, because we don't need to put any weight on this tyre because it's balanced quite well. With it being like that, then the rider then won't feel nothing. It's balanced properly and he'll have a nice smooth ride.
But it's not just the bikes that need looking after, it's the rider's kit as well. So we went along to see a helmet technician to find out what's involved in that job.
My name's Mark, I'm a RI service technician, Phoenix Distribution. Very busy on Saturday and yesterday because the weather was good, lots of flies around here, and risers obviously get well splattered with flies. Restricts the vision, so we have to fit these tear-offs as the guys' vision gets reduced, and they can just pull a tear off and then they've got full clear visibility again. This is John Reynolds, obviously he's our one of the title contenders this year for Superbike. Paul's just doing Sean Emmett's there. Sean's top bike, so a contender for this year's championship. And obviously we've got a rack full of helmets out there. Lots of Superbike runners, Scott Smart, Superstock and all the other classes, 600, Carl Harris, all these kind of people, and keeps us busy, that's for sure.
Another guy who's extra busy on race day is James from Double Red Photography. He's hard at work finding the best places on the track to take pictures.
Just on the exit of Druids, as you see, the bikes will get the front wheel off the ground just as they come over the crest under acceleration, and they've got to, the riders have to work quite hard to get the bikes back online, keep them in control, so it's quite a dramatic shot out of here. A number of times that people say, oh, you've got the best job in the world. Well, on a day like today we probably have, but when it's siling down with rain and you've got to stand there and it's cold, miserable and horrible and you've still got to be out there, then obviously it's not quite so much fun. I think we'll just have a walk up to the inside of Lodge, get a completely different shot. Lodge Corner on race day is sort of traditionally one of the last ditch attempt passing places. It's sort of the last passing place before they go onto the start finish straight. At that point there's a potential for crashes, and the crashes are often the shots that get used. I guess you could say it started off as a hobby that got too expensive. Very, very few circuits that are as picturesque as this.
Back to the scrutineering bay now, where we catch up with one of the chaps who makes sure that all the bikes are safe to race.
Yeah, checking all the nuts and bolts, make sure they're tight. No oil leaks on the cylinder. Fairing's not loose. Front brake lines, as long as they don't go over the top of the mudguard. No oil leaks from the front forks. Make sure the rear brake's working. Footrests are tight. Exhaust not loose. You should have 2 bungs in the bottom of the fairing, which he hasn't got. Footrest tight. Suspension working. It's mainly nuts, bolts, tyres. At a club meeting you'd look at more tyres as they go away from here and they can work on the bike and do something which they shouldn't do, I suppose, really, leave a wire off, and you know, you can't keep an eye on everything all the time.
But one man who was trying to keep his eye on, well, absolutely everything is Adam, our internet reporter.
Right, we're just on our way to a photo call at a Superstock team, DLS London South, and they've got some girls there that they're going to have a photo call with. With Crash.net we have a babe section, so we use some of the pictures taken at the meetings of the girls on the bikes and stuff. Just going to go and have a chat with them to see how they are and get a bit of background information for the site really. How long have you been dancing?
About 6 years now.
6 years? How did you get into it?
Well, my day job was boring, so I decided to get a bit better paid.
Do you enjoy your job?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Did you get good pay? I'll have to come along one time.
I'm sure I can find you some passes.
Brilliant.
Another behind-the-scenes job on race day that doesn't get much publicity is that of the fuel tester. It's necessary though to make sure everyone is playing by the same rules.
Hi, I'm Ian Mulliner. I do all the fuel analysis here for the British Superbike Championships. Just taken a fuel sample from Leon Haslam's machine in the last race, and I'm just going to be conducting our fuel analysis to make sure his juice is correct. The main test is gas chromatography. So in basic terms it splits the fuel into all its major components and gives us a percentage readout of each component. Typical race fuel they're using here, an Alfa Moto 4T product for the superbike class. It's got about 120, 122 components to make sure they've either, well, one, they're using the fuel supply, but mainly to make sure they haven't put any additives in, any octane boost or something to improve the performance of their fuel. This graph's looking pretty good now. We're just coming to the end. All the components are all looking good. They're all the right amount of there. They're all in the right percentages. So that's going to be a clean test for Mr. Haslam. So I'll go and get him to sign this paperwork, and he can take his machine home.
Well, that's it from Oulton Park and from this edition of Bike Shows UK. We hope we've given you some idea of what goes on behind the scenes to make a big race meeting like this possible. It's time for everyone to pack up, go home. So we'll leave you to look at a deserted Oulton Park and just how good or bad our cameraman is on a bike.